Hi everyone, welcome to Live Joyful Every Day. Today we are going to be talking about moving in faith. How to move in spite of your fears, in spite of the obstacles. Many times we wait for things to be perfect. We wait for everything to fall in place. We wait to know how it's going to work out before we step out. But I can guarantee you, in this leadership series, as we talk about life lessons from leadership, you will learn that many of the things that you will need to do to have impact, you will have to step out, even when you're fearful, when you're doubtful, when you're not sure of how it will end or how you're going to do it. You're going to have to step out in faith. So welcome to this episode and to this channel, Live Joyful Every Day. And I'm going to be doing a few life lessons I've learned from my few leaders, my few years of servant leadership, especially in a church setting. And one of the lessons I want to talk about today is moving in faith, or if you like, you can say stepping out in faith. Stepping out in spite of the fear. Many times the Lord gives us visions, He gives us things to do. But trust me, anytime the Lord gives you something to do, it looks too big for your human mind to comprehend. And probably it has not even been done before in your setting. So there's always that fear that comes upon you, and you're thinking, how am I going to do this? How is this going to happen? What will people say? And this is one of the biggest. What will people say about it? And then as you think about all those things and begin to rationalize, you find yourself going back and chickening out of the whole project because of fear. But one thing I've learned in leadership is there are things you will have to do even when you're trembling, when you're fearful. I mean, even coming to YouTube, as a leader, as many times I'm obliged to speak in public, to speak publicly. And I'm pretty confident. I've developed that confidence of speaking in public and speaking in front of an audience. But trust me, coming in front of a camera and speaking for me was a whole different ball game. So it is one of the things I've done that have showed me that you have to step out even when you're scared. When I first had that inspiration, I was very much interested in media. I would watch different people and I'm like, wow, that one is good. This is good. And somewhere deep inside me, I felt there was something I could offer the world. But because of that fear, I'm thinking, I cannot talk as well as those people. I cannot do this as well. But when I had that voice, the voice from the Lord, I know you might be asking me, is it an audible voice? Is it a what? Of course, as you go before the Lord and pray, you just get that inspiration that now I think I should go on YouTube and start something. And interestingly, that was towards the end of 2024. Interesting, as we wound up the year, 2 other colleagues of mine came and told me the same thing. They said, hey, but you, sometimes they call us Mama, if you're like a leader of a prayer group. They call you Mama. So they came to me. These ladies just told me, we're actually having a meeting online on WhatsApp. And they said, but Mama, you should start like a blog or something and start talking about different things, about faith, about life, and, mentor some people. I'm like, wow. And interestingly, it is the same thing I had felt the Lord was calling me to do. And then these 2 ladies just said it, and I hadn't even spoken to any of them about it. So for me, that was a confirmation that go and do this. But I can tell you I had like a million excuses. I'm looking at people's videos, I'm looking at people talking, and I'm thinking, I cannot even do a quarter of what these people are doing. Look at how good they look at how they are speaking. And I was so fearful. And I'm also thinking now the money. If you have to do quality work, you have to spend on someone to do the recording and upload everything and that. But I said, okay, fine. Let me see how to do this. So, long story short, I contact my friend. I contact James and I ask him, hey, this and that, and he tells me, I'm like, will I manage? But I decided to step out in faith, and yeah, the rest is history. So that is one example. I'm just trying to tell you about how you have to step out in faith. And then some of the things we've also done as a prayer group. I remember it was 2020 when COVID struck and we were all locked out of church. And yeah, some people were used to being in the media. They were already in the media. For them, the transition was pretty easy. So we used to have our prayer meetings, physical prayer meetings, every Tuesday. So we are now stuck. We're saying, what do we do next? But I felt the Lord was saying some few things, and I started doing them like personally. But also, I got an inspiration. The Lord was saying, have prayer meetings on Zoom. And at that point, we didn't even have a Zoom account. I didn't even know how we are going to do it, how we are going to record it. But I said, fine, let us go. We don't know how it's going to look like. And we just started using there was this free Zoom you would use like for, I think, about 30 minutes or something, and then it goes off. But interestingly, even as we started that, I think we started with Facebook. We started doing on Facebook Live. Then as we continued, one time I invite someone to give a talk on that Tuesday, and she said, hey, by the way, I have a Zoom account. Which we can use. I was like, wow, thank you, Lord. So she decided to give us that Zoom account, and we started using it during the lockdown, and it was amazing. We were just learning. We were starting from scratch, but I mean, we had to get to our houses, get my phone, and connect to Zoom. And yeah, that is how we started doing it, and it really kept us going. It was amazing what the Lord was doing. And from there, we graduated, we got our own account and started paying for it, even during the lockdown when we didn't have money, but somehow the Lord provided. And that is how we moved in faith. And now, even recently, the prayer group has now even moved to YouTube. We don't do live streaming, but we record. And thanks to James, who also encouraged me. I remember it just came out. We were just chatting and what, and it's like, I think we need to do this and what. And it had been coming on for some time, like we had been talking about it. But anyhow, one thing I also learned is when it is the right season, it will happen. So we had to also conquer our fears and then go onto YouTube and broadcast our prayer meetings, and it's been amazing. And I believe the Lord is doing something, and there is something that we need to offer the world, and it's going to bear some fruit. So why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this to that person who is still thinking that I need to have this, I have to have this in order. It's not about perfection. Sometimes your courage has to rise above that thought of perfection, and you just have to move in faith and step out. Otherwise, you're not going to do anything. So one lesson I've learned that has helped me also in life is to just move in faith. And I'm not saying you should do foolish things or stupid things, and call it faith, and just do stupid things and conquer fears and do stupid things that are going to put your life in danger or other people in danger. No, that is not what I mean. I mean, if you're convinced and you feel a conviction and you have a vision to do something and the Lord has placed it in your hands, but there are so many obstacles and you're so fearful, That is what I'm talking about. Do it. Isn't it? I think it's Joyce Meyer who says, she even wrote a book, do it afraid. Just do it even when you're shaking, when you're trembling. I cannot tell you how many times I've woken up, I don't feel like doing anything, but we need to plan, we need to do our leaders meetings, we need to go for those outreaches, organize formations. Even when you don't see the finances, you just put out the flyer and make the budget and call people, and trust me, the Lord shows up somewhere along the way. And for me, it has been one of my greatest life lessons I've picked, especially from leadership, is just move, step out in faith. Even with all the fears, even when you're trembling, when you're fearful, just step out in faith and keep moving and moving and moving in faith. And trust me, when you do that, nothing will defeat you in this life. You're going to do everything that the Lord has called you to do. Even when people are saying, it's not possible, we don't have the money, we cannot do this, you will do it as long as the Lord has placed it on your heart and you're convinced that it is the Lord calling you to do it. Yes, so whatever it is, I know some of you might have to get out of your comfort zones right now. You're probably scared. What will people say? Actually, one of my greatest fears about coming on social media was, I even told my friends, to go on social media and then you start talking even things you don't know. Sometimes maybe you're not making sense and people start abusing you. Start saying, now look at that one, look at this, what are they saying, nonsense, what? So those were some of my fears, but I had to step out in faith and just do it. So I don't know, maybe I may not be making sense to some people, but I'm following my conviction. And I believe even if it is just one person whose life will be transformed, it is okay. It is well. I have done my part. I have put in the resources and I will continue to do it. And I believe we are going to get better. And the Lord has a vision. He has a bigger vision that, you cannot see it at the beginning. At the beginning, you just have to keep moving. I'm seated here, I'm talking. I don't even know sometimes I don't know what I'm saying, to tell you the truth. And I'm struggling even sometimes to get the words to speak. I have the ideas, but I just say I have to show up and do it. And I believe as I continue to do that, and conquering my fears and moving in spite of the fear, the Lord will make it better and bigger in His own way. Soon you're going to see probably different things. You will even start sharing people's stories on this very channel, and it will be amazing. So I want to encourage you, whatever your fears are, whatever the Lord is calling you to do, maybe it is to start that business, but you're already worried. You're thinking, how will I start? I don't have the money. Will I get customers? It is a lot of work. Do it afraid, provided you're convinced and you're sure it's the Lord calling you to do it. Just move in spite of the obstacles, in spite of the fears. Just keep moving. And trust me, you will achieve what the Lord has called you to do. Because I've realized in this life, there is nothing that is going to come easy. Nothing that is going to come prepared. Nothing will come perfect. The weather will not be perfect. The economy will not be perfect for you to start that business. Your children will not be perfect. Your husband will not be perfect. He probably will not support even some of the things you're doing. Some of people will even discourage you. Even your own family. But just do it. Do not fear. Just step out, provided you're convinced it is what the Lord is calling you to do. Just step out in fear and move in fear, and you in that fear. And trust me, as you continue to do that, even the fear will start to bow down. Because fear, like I've heard many people say, it's just false evidence appearing real. It is just the enemy bringing all the scenarios. What if they don't like it? What if they don't like the way you speak? What if you don't speak well? It is just the enemy bringing all those scenarios. But move. Because we are called to move in faith, not to stand in faith. or to wish, but to move. We have to be moving. Even the Lord will find you moving. Yeah, until you start to move in faith. The Lord will not come to, because He doesn't have what to work with. He needs something to work with. The scripture says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So that is the attitude we need to have. I can do all things. Even Betty, small as I am, or even unqualified as I am in speaking one, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So be blessed and let's move. Step out, whatever you've been postponing, whatever you've been fearing to do. This is your year, this is your season. Step out in faith and do that thing. Even when you're trembling, the Lord will give you stamina. He will give you stability. He will help you to move even through the storm, even through the naysayers, even through the criticism. The Lord will help you. You're going to make mistakes, of course. Make them, but learn from them and move. Thank you for watching, and I wish you the best as you conquer all your fears and move in faith to achieve all that the Lord has laid on your hearts, and to bless other people and transform generations. Thank you. Bye-bye.